I never thought I'd swing a sledgehammer at a woman's Mercedes until the day she parked it right on my front lawn, blaring her horn like she owned the damn place. That's when I realized revenge isn't just a dish best served cold. It's a full-course meal you cook while the whole neighborhood watches the fire burn. And oh, did Karen scream when the cuffs clicked on. Her empire of petty rules crumbled faster than her fake tan under the squad car lights. It started innocently enough, or at least that's what I told myself as I sipped my morning coffee on the wraparound porch of my family's estate in Willow Creek. That sleepy slice of upstate New York where old money meets new McMansions. The house, 3 stories of weathered stone and ivy, passed down from my great-grandfather who made his fortune in railroads, sits on 5 acres of rolling green that I've spent the last decade restoring. I'm Alex Harlan, 42, divorced, no kids, and the kind of guy who prefers pruning roses to playing HOA politics. But Willow Creek had changed since I inherited the place. Subdivisions sprouted like weeds, and with them came the Karens, self-appointed queens of covenants, armed with clipboards and superiority complexes. She rolled up one crisp September afternoon in her gleaming white SUV, the kind with CEO vanity plates that scream, "I peaked in high school and never looked back." Karen Whitaker, president of the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, tech startup founder, and, as I'd soon learn, a master of selective amnesia about property lines. She was a vision of suburban excess. Mid-50s, pushing 250 pounds squeezed into a pastel blouse that strained at the buttons, her face a mask of Botox and bitterness, eyes like chipped ice under bleached curls. She waddled up my driveway, my actual driveway, graveled and gated, with a surveyor in tow, barking orders like a drill sergeant at a bake sale. "Mr. Harlan? Karanwita, ak o president." We're here to discuss improvements. Her voice was that fake sweet drawl, laced with the entitlement of someone who's never heard no without suing for it. The surveyor, a nervous kid in khakis, unfolded a map that looked like it had been doodled on in crayon. "See this line here? It's communal. Your estate borders the new phase, so we're extending access. Share driveway. It's in the bylaws." I laughed because at first it sounded like a joke. Shared? My land had been surveyed in 1892, boundaries etched in iron stakes deeper than her mortgage. "Lady, that's my property. Check the deed. This isn't some condo complex. It's Harlan land." But she didn't flinch. Instead, she thrust a laminated packet at me. HOA rules she'd updated last year, buried in fine print about community enhancements. Apparently, in her world, shared meant whatever kept her developer buddies happy and her ego stroked. That night, as I pored over the documents by the flicker of my study fireplace, the hook sank deeper. She'd forged signatures, twisted easements from the 90s subdivision approvals. My lawyer confirmed it over a late call. "Alex, she's bluffing, but she's got teeth. That startup of hers? It's bleeding cash. This expansion is her Hail Mary to flip lots faster." I felt the betrayal twist like a knife, not just the land grab, but the audacity. Willow Creek was my sanctuary, the one place I'd rebuilt after my ex cleaned me out in the divorce. And now this blowhard in heels wanted to pave it over for her vision. The next morning, I fired off a cease and desist to the HOA board. Polite, professional, classic Alex. But Karen? She escalated like a toddler with a megaphone. By noon, my gate sported a "violators will be towed" sign she'd slapped on overnight, and her Facebook group, Willow Creek Watchdogs, was ablaze with posts entitled "Holdout Blocking Progress." "Who's with me?" Comments poured in from her minions, soccer moms and retirees, echoing her venom. "Arrogant recluse hoarding land like it's 1950, one read. Another, "Time for eminent domain. Make 'em share." I could have lawyered up quietly, let the courts grind her down. But something snapped. That evening, as her crew, hired goons in neon vests, broke ground at dawn, unspooling caution tape across my eastern fence line, I grabbed my boots. This wasn't about dirt. It was personal. She'd painted me as the villain in her little fiefdom, and damn if I wasn't ready to flip the script. The first confrontation was pure theater. I strode out in my work jeans and flannel, thermos in hand, just as the bulldozer revved. Karen was there, of course, perched on a folding chair like a deposed monarch, directing traffic with a walkie-talkie. "Stop!" I bellowed, louder than I'd planned. The machine idled, and heads turned. She stood, all 5'2" of quivering fury, jabbing a manicured finger. "This is legal, Harlan. Your surveys are outdated. Mine say different. Progress waits for no man, or his dusty old estate." Outdated? I unfolded my own printout, the one from the county clerk stamped yesterday. "This says you're 10 feet over the line, Karen. That's trespassing. Pack it up, or I call the sheriff." The crew hesitated, but she laughed, a shrill, hyena bark that echoed off the oaks. "Sheriff? Oh, honey, the sheriff's my golf buddy. And if you think this is bad, wait till the fines hit. Your fence? Non compliant. Your roses? Invasive species. Pay up or comply." The crew chuckled nervously, but I saw the cracks. The surveyor kid avoiding my eyes, the operator checking his phone. "Still," she pressed, waving her packet like a talisman. "Shared access benefits everyone. Your isolationist attitude is what's killing this community." Isolationist? I'd hosted block parties, donated to the food drive. But in her narrative, I was the outsider, the threat. The argument swelled. Neighbors trickled over, phones out, filming for the group chat. "Karen's right," one muttered. "Time to modernize." Another, a guy I'd barbecued with, shrugged. "Sorry, Alex, rules are rules." I bit back the urge to unload. Years of therapy after the divorce taught me restraint. But her smug grin? It was gasoline on embers. "Rules you rewrote to suit your wallet." I shot back, voice steady but edged. "This isn't community, it's conquest." She flushed, that fake tan mottling purple. "How dare you? I'm building futures here. Jobs, homes. You're just a bitter loner clinging to ghosts." The crowd murmured, split now, whispers of drama, rippling like wind through leaves. By dusk, they poured the first slab, ugly gray concrete scarring my meadow like a fresh wound. I retreated to the house, heart pounding, drafting emails to the board. But sleep evaded me. Her words looped, a venomous chant. Bitter loner? Ghosts? My great-grandpa's portrait stared down from the mantel, eyes stern as if to say, "Fight, boy." And so I did, not with papers, but with the one weapon she couldn't bully, exposure. Part 1 of my counteroffensive hit at midnight. I posted to the Watchdogs group, my first ever. No rant, just facts, scans of deeds, emails from her developers, a timeline of her updates. Shared? Or stolen? The caption read, "By breakfast, it had 200 shares. Comments flipped. Wait, Karen, this looks shady. Alex has a point. Check your own lots." She fired back in a pin post. "Smear campaign from a grudge holder. Board meeting tomorrow. Vote him out." But the tide turned. Attendance swelled. Whispers of resignation from her allies. She didn't take defeat lying down. The next day, as I trimmed hedges to clear my head, her Mercedes crunched gravel. Right onto my lawn, tires chewing divots. She honked, 3 sharp blasts, then stormed out, heels sinking in the sod. "Harlan, take that libel down, or I'll sue for defamation." Her face was a storm cloud, jowls quivering. That CO, swagger cracking under strain. I leaned on my shears, calm as lake water. "Libel? It's all public record, Karen. But sure, sue me. Let's see what the judge thinks of your forgeries." The neighbors gathered again, a semicircle of curiosity. She thrust her phone at me, a video playing, me yelling stop the day before, edited to make me sound unhinged. "See? Aggressive. A danger," gasped from the peanut gallery. But I smiled, cold, calculated. "Nice edit. Too bad the full footage is on my ring cam. Want me to post it?" Her eyes narrowed to slits. "You wouldn't. This community needs unity, not your chaos." Unity? Her version meant obedience. "Your unity is a pyramid scheme," I said, loud enough for all. "Bullying folks into bylaws that line your pockets. How's that startup, Karen? Still innovating with other people's land?" It was a low blow. I'd dug in her LinkedIn, her Glassdoor reviews, screaming toxic boss, but she deserved it. The crowd shifted, murmurs turning accusatory. One mom, clutching her kid's hand, piped up, "Karen, you fined me for bird feeders last month. Is this how you operate?" She whirled on her, venom spilling. "Mind your business, Cheryl." Some of us lead, others follow. The slap of words landed hard. Cheryl's face crumpled, and just like that, the alliance fractured. Karen backpedaled, cooing apologies, but the damage stuck. As she retreated to her car, tires spinning mud, I felt the first rush of vindication. But it was fleeting. She wasn't done. That night, my inbox flooded with her proxies. Anonymous complaints to code enforcement, a petition to rezone my estate. The petty war escalated. She sent landscapers to trim my boundary trees, chopping limbs onto my side like passive-aggressive confetti. I countered with a drone flyover, footage of her crew crossing lines, uploaded to YouTube. Willow Creek's driveway debacle. Views hit 5K overnight. Local news sniffing around. Reporters called. I gave measured quotes, painting her as the overreaching tyrant. "It's not about the land," I told one. "It's about one woman rewriting reality to suit her ego." Karen's response? Oppressor in her driveway, flanked by signs. "Protect our progress." She spun it masterfully at first. Tearful pleas about community dreams. Me, as the obstructionist heir. Her followers lapped it up, doxing my number online. Hate texts rolled in. "Sell out or get out, elitist." But cracks showed. Her board leaked minutes showing vote rigging, and her startup stock dipped on whispers of ethics probes. By week's end, the concrete slab mocked me from afar, a gray tongue licking at my peace. I couldn't let it stand. Late one moonlit night, sledge in hand, I approached. Not to destroy, yet, but to mark territory. Chips flew, warnings etched in the poor. Harlan land. Trespassers prosecuted. Dawn broke to her shriek echoing across the fields. She called the cops on me this time, but they laughed it off. "Private property, ma'am. Call a lawyer." Humiliation burned her. She doubled down, filing for an injunction. Court date set for October. But I had plans, deeper cuts, the kind that scar reputations. I reached out to ex-employees, digging dirt. Harassment suits settled quietly, a whistleblower on fudge finances. It piled up, a dossier of her sins. And as fall leaves turned, so did the neighborhood. Picnics at my place now, toasts to the real watchdog. Yet doubt crept in. Was I becoming her? The mirror showed a man with shadows under his eyes, shears traded for strategy. My ex called, worried. "Alex, don't lose yourself in this." But loss? I'd already lost enough. Karen's empire teetered, and I was the gust to topple it. The courtroom and county seat was a relic, wood-paneled, smelling of old varnish and older grudges. October 15th, leaves swirling outside like confetti for a funeral. I sat front row, suit crisp, flanked by my lawyer Tom, a bulldog who'd clawed me through the divorce. Karen entered like a diva. Her power suit swapped for a muumuu that did nothing for her silhouette, arm in arm with a slick attorney twice her age. She avoided my gaze, but I saw the quiver in her chin, the way her eyes darted like a cornered possum. Judge Harlan, no relation, thank God, called order, a no-nonsense widow in her 60s with a gavel that cracked like thunder. Tom's opening was surgical. Deeds, surveys, her forged addendums projected on a screen for all to see. "Your Honor, this isn't enhancement. It's embezzlement of equity." Gasps from the gallery. Neighbors packed in, phone silenced but eyes wide. Karen's turn. Her lawyer droned about good faith, waving her bylaws like a white flag stained brown. But then she took the stand, voice honeyed at first. "I only wanted to unite us, Your Honor." Mr. Harlan's resistance. "It's personal. He slandered me, harassed my team." Lies, polished to a sheen, but her eyes betrayed her, flickering to me with pure hate. Cross-examination was my gift to Tom. "Ms. Whitaker, this update. Did you consult the full board?" She hawed. "Well, a quorum. 3 members? The ones who resigned last month citing coercion." The gallery buzzed. He pressed. Her startup's ties to the developer, emails I'd subpoenaed showing kickbacks. Shared access? Or share profits? Her face cycled colors, pink to puce, as admissions tumbled. It was oversight. For the greater good. Greater good? The judge's brow arched. Recess called, and in the hall, her facade shattered. She cornered me by the water fountain, breath hot and ragged. You think you've won, Harlan? I'll bury you in appeals. My network, senators, donors, they'll crush you. Spittle flecked her lips, that obese frame heaving like a bellows. I leaned in, voice low. Your network's cringing, Karen. Check your board. They quit this morning. She deflated, a balloon pricked, slumping against the wall. For a split second, pity flickered. A broken woman, empire evaporating. But then she rallied, hissing, this isn't over. I'll make your life hell. Threats from a titan turned termite. I walked away, heart steady, as the bailiff called us back. Verdict dropped like an axe. Injunction denied. Her work halted. Fines for trespass tripled. Ms. Whitaker, your actions border on fraud, the judge intoned. Clean it up, or face contempt. Cheers erupted, subtle but real, from my side. Karen bolted, her lawyer scrambling after, but not before she shot me a glare that could curdle milk. Outside, media swarmed. Local news vans, a podcaster with a mic like a lollipop. Mr. Harlan, how's it feel to beat the HOA bully? I smiled for the cameras. Feels like justice. And a reminder, know your lines. Karen's SUV peeled out, fishtailing on wet leaves, but the real skid was hers. Headlines by evening. HOA horror. CEO's land grab exposed. She didn't stop. Oh no. Retaliation came swift, a barrage of spite. Anonymous tips to zoning about my unpermitted shed. A garden folly, grandfathered in. Petitions to landmark my estate. As a nuisance. Her watchdogs devolved into a hate fest. Deepfakes of me ranting. Memes dubbing me estate tyrant. Sleep fled. I barricaded windows against phantom intruders. The sledgehammer from that night, propped by my bed like a talisman. But I struck back harder. The dossier? Leaked strategically to the Times-Herald first, then her investors. Stories bloomed. Willow Creek whistleblower. HOA head's house of cards. Her startup's board called an emergency meeting. Stock plummeted 20%. Ex-employees surfaced. Tales of firings for attitude. Pay docked for noncompliance. Echoes of her HOA playbook now turned against her. The neighborhood flipped en masse. Block party in my place. Ironic, given her accusations. Roasted marshmallows while toasting Free Willow. Cheryl, the bird feeder mom, hugged me. You gave a spine, Alex. Even the surveyor kid stopped by, apologetic, spilling more. She pressured us, faked measurements. I'm testifying if needed. Karen's isolation grew. Sighted at the grocery, shunned in aisles. Her Mercedes sported eggshells overnight. Desperation peaked in a midnight voicemail. Slurred, sobbing. Harlan, you win. Call off the dogs. I'll dismantle it all. But trust? Shattered like that concrete slab. I saved it, played it for Tom. Evidence of coercion attempts. The climax brewed in November chill, frost glazing the fields. Her crew, what was left, tried a midnight pour, spotlights cutting fog, desperate to salvage the driveway before winter locked it down. I watched from my ridge, phone dialing 911 as blades bit earth. Sirens wailed, blue lights painted the night. Cops swarmed, badges glinting, as Karen arrived in robe and curlers, screeching, "This is my right. Arrest him." But the lead deputy, a woman with a noble stare, cuffed her instead. "Ma'am, we have warrants, trespass, fraud, harassment. Your lawyer's en route." She bucked, that bulk straining zip ties, face a rictus of rage. "Do you know who I am?" "See. Influencer. I'll sue." But the deputy just sighed. "Ma'am, you're under arrest. Anything you say." I watched from shadows, the sledgehammer heavy in hand. Not needed now. Justice, cold and mechanical, drag her away. Her empire? Demolished by dawn. Slab jackhammered, boundaries resurveyed. Charges piled. Misdemeanor trespass, civil fraud suit from me. felony probes from the AG on her finances. Winter settled, snow blanketing scars. Willow healed, new board, fair rules, my estate untouched. But the bitterness lingered, a quiet ache. I'd won, but at what cost? Neighbors hailed me hero, yet solitude deepened. Trust, once cracked, stayed fractured. Karen? Released on bail, she vanished, sold her McMansion, startup shuttered, whispers of bankruptcy. Last I heard, she clerked a strip mall, peddling coupons instead of covenants. Revenge's aftertaste is ash. I prune roses now, but glance over shoulders, wondering if another Karen lurks. The estate endures, goes content. But me? I'm just a man who swung back and found a hammer heavier than glory. As the snow melted into a muddy march, I thought the nightmare had thawed with it. Willow Creek buzzed with renewal. Fresh elections for the HOA. My name floated half-jokingly as president. Alex for the win. Cheryl toasted at the spring fair, her kid chasing fireflies on my lawn. Laughter echoed where arguments once festered, and for a moment, I let myself breathe. The estate felt alive again, birdsong in the eaves, the eastern field reseeded with wildflowers as defiant as my resolve. But Karen? She was a cockroach, stomp one crisis, and she scuttled from another crack. Word came via a neighbor's whisper at the diner. She'd relocated to a dingy apartment in the next county, scraping by on odd jobs, but her venom hadn't dried. Online, under pseudonyms like Truth Teller WC, she posted screeds, betrayed by a bully in sheep's clothing. Harlan's the real thief. Threads on Reddit's r/HOAHL linked back to her old videos, twisted to martyr her. Subscribers trickled in, a cult of the aggrieved, donating to her legal fund GoFundMe that hit 5 figures. I ignored it at first. Therapy 101. Don't feed the troll. Focused on work. I'm a freelance architect, drafting sustainable homes for clients who actually respect boundaries. But then the letters started. Handwritten, postmarked from a P.O. box, scrawled in her looping script. You stole my life, Harlan. But I'll take yours, piece by driveway. Enclosures? Photos. My house at dusk, license plates of my truck circled in red. Stalker vibes, straight from a Dateline episode. Tom advised a restraining order, but evidence was thin, postmarks, no prints. She's cornered, Alex. Desperate people do desperate things. He was right. Her GoFundMe pitched a tell-all book, excerpts dripping with fabrications. Me bribing officials, romancing bored wives for votes. Sales? Pathetic, but the buzz drew eyes. Local blogs picked it up, painting me as the aggressor in a he said, she paved saga. Doubt not. Had I gone too far? The sledgehammer night replayed in dreams, concrete dust like guilt on my skin. My ex, Sarah, visited unannounced one rainy afternoon, arms full of takeout from our old spot. Heard the gossip. You okay? We walked the grounds, her heels sinking in soft earth, talking like old times, before the lies, the alimony wars. She sounds unhinged, Alex, but fighting fire with fire. It burns you too. She was right. That night, alone with whiskey by the fire, I scrolled her posts. Not rage, but sorrow, for the woman who'd twisted ambition into atrocity. What broke her first? A failed marriage? Boardroom battles? Empathy softened the edges, but resolve hardened the core. No more reaction, time for proaction. I hired a PI, discreet ex-cop named Ruiz, with a mustache like a broom and ethics for hire. Dig gentle, but dig deep, I instructed. His report landed a week later, over black coffee in my study. Karen's past unspooled like a bad check. Born Karen Kowalski in a Rust Belt town, clawed to CEO via cutthroat mergers, but lawsuits trailed. Wrongful terminations, a sexual harassment claim, she countersued into oblivion. Willow Creek. Her third HOA gig. The first 2 imploded in scandals. Boards dissolved amid cries of dictatorship. The kicker, her shared driveway wasn't innovation. It was revenge on me, specifically. Turns out, pre-move, she'd eyed my estate for a flip, dreamed of subdividing my acres into luxury lots. Her commission a windfall. When inheritance blocked it, Spite bloomed. Ruiz's photos. Her at a bar, 3 sheets to the wind, ranting to a bartender. That bastard Harlan thinks he's aristocracy. I'll bury him in concrete. Armed with truth, I went public, not vicious but viral. A Medium post, the driveway deception, a neighbor's story. Facts only, timelines, court docs, anonymized PI snippets. No mudslinging. Let readers connect dots. It exploded. 50K views in days, shares from true crime pods. This is why we need body cams for HOAs, one comment read. Another, Karen archetype achieved. Justice for estates. Her response? Nuclear. A live stream from her cramped kitchen. Backdrop of stacked boxes and wilted plants. She wept crocodile tears. Vicious lies from a vengeful man. I gave everything to that community. Viewers donated sympathy bucks, but comments turned, "Lady, own your mess." Sounds like sour grapes. Her cult shrank. GoFundMe stalled at 60%. Yet she pivoted to petty apocalypse. One muggy June dawn, I found my mailbox stuffed with flyers. Harlan, hypocrite or hazard? Cartoons of me as a greedy goblin. Estate a dragon's hoard. Distributed door to door by her, sweat-soaked, and snarling at refusals. Neighbors shredded them on porches, but one stuck, taped to my gate, with a PS, "Watch your back." Fear prickled, but fury fueled. I installed cams, full perimeter, motion lights that turn night to noon. Then, the masterstroke, community forum, open invite at my barn. Let's rewrite the rules, together. 50 showed. Families, elders, even skeptics. We drafted a new charter, transparent, neighbor-led. Karen's name? Erased like a bad tattoo. Word reached her. She crashed the next meeting, uninvited, bursting through doors in a sundress 2 sizes small, face puffy from who knows what. "This is a sham. You're all puppets." The room hushed, then erupted, not in support but shut down. "Karen, leave," Tom said from his seat, voice steel. She scanned faces, landing on me. "You poisoned them. Just like you poisoned my life." Poison? Projection at its finest. "Karen," I said, rising slow, "your life's yours. But stop dragging us into it." She lunged, not at me, but the charter draft on the table, scattering pages like confetti rage. Security, 2 burly dads, escorted her out, her wails fading into twilight. "You'll regret this. All of you." The incident broke her online facade. Streams went dark, posts sporadic. Ruiz tailed her to court dates, small claims she'd filed against defamers, all dismissed for lack of merit. Her apartment? Evicted, belongings curbside in black bags. Last sighting, hitchhiking from a bus stop, thumb out, eyes hollow. Summer waned, estate blooming under fair skies. I dated casually, a barista with laugh lines, walks by the creek. Idine, tentative. But autumn brought echoes. A news clip of her arraignment, fraud charges upgraded. Bail revoked after a no-show. Manhunt light, posters in post offices. Karen Whitaker, wanted for questioning. I didn't celebrate. Victory felt hollow, a driveway paved with what-ifs. Had mercy changed the ending? Or was her fall inevitable? A Karen colliding with consequence? November winds howled like unpaid debts, stripping leaves to bone. Willow Creek hunkered down, jack-o'-lanterns rotting on stoops, but my estate stood sentinel. Lights strung, a harvest feast planned to seal our new era. Invites went out. Potluck under the oaks, cider steaming, stories swapped. No Karens allowed. I joked in the invite, eliciting emojis of swords and shields. Laughter as armor. We'd earned it. But fate, that cruel editor, inserted a twist. 2 days before Thanksgiving, Ruiz called from a diner booth, voice gravel. She's holed up in a motel off I-87, Alex. Skittish, dyed her hair mousy, but that scowl? Unmistakable. Talking big to a burner phone. One last play, then we hit Harlan where it hurts. My gut clenched. One last play? The feast? The charter vote? I looped in Tom, who looped in the sheriff. Warrants active, but no probable cause for a raid. Sit tight, he urged. She's smoke. Let her dissipate. But sleep? A luxury. I patrolled nights, flashlight sweeping shadows, the sledgehammer's ghost whispering vigilance. Sarah texted support. Proud of you, warrior. But call if shadows grow teeth. They did. Eve of the feast, a package arrived. No return, brown paper crinkled like old skin. Inside, a scale model of my estate, driveway extended in miniature concrete, tiny figures, me as a stickman hanging from a noose tree. Note in her hand, shared forever. Or else. Heart hammered. I bagged it for prints, but new. Hers, smudged with desperation's ink. The feast dawned crisp, air spiced with cinnamon and pine. Guests trickled in, Cheryl with pies, the surveyor kid, now a friend, with brews. Tables groaned under turkey, laughter bubbled like bubbles in stout. I toasted, to boundaries respected, not breached. Cheers rose, but my eyes scanned the tree lean, expectation taut as a bowstring. She emerged at dusk, silhouette against harvest moon, staggering from the woods in ill-fitting jeans and a hoodie too big, perhaps swiped from a laundromat. No makeup, face gaunt, that obesity whittled by one a wiry meanness. Harlan, she bellowed, voice raw as stripped wire. Guests froze, forks mid-air, kids hustled inside. I stepped forward, palms up, de-escalate always. Karen, go home. This ends now. But home? She laughed, bitter bark echoing. Home? You took it. My house, my status. Gone because of your vendetta. She waved a crumpled flyer. Our charter, defaced with red slashes. Puppets. All puppets to your ego. The crowd murmured, protective phalanx forming. Tom dialed discreetly. Sirens loomed distant. She advanced, eyes wild, clutching. A thermos? Drink with me, neighbors. To truth. Unscrewing the cap, she swigged, whiskey stench wafting, then offered it like communion. See? I'm reasonable. Unlike him. Cheryl stepped up. Karen, please. We've moved on. But she whirled, spilling liquor on the grass. Moved on? You traitors. I built this. Fines funded your playgrounds. Lies, but laced with half-truths. Her tyranny had echoes of twisted care. Pity flickered again, but fear quenched it. She lunged at the table, sweeping dishes in a porcelain avalanche. Chaos bloomed, screams, shards glittering. I grabbed her arm, gentle, firm, to pull her back. Mistake. She twisted, nails raking my cheek, drawing blood like war paint. Thief! She shrieked, fumbling in her pocket. A pocket knife, cheap blade glinting. Guests scattered. The kid yelled cops. She slashed air, not me yet. You think arrest scared me? I'll burn it all. Thermos hurled at my feet, whiskey pooling. Delirium? Or design? Ruiz's warning echoed. One last play. I backed away, voice steady. Karen, drop it. No more damage. But damage was her creed. She charged the model from the package. Hidden in her bag, smashing on the bonfire pit, flames leaping to devour wood and wire. See? Your precious estate. Ashes. Smoke billowed. Acrid. Someone doused it with punch. Sirens wailed closer, red-blue, strobing the orchard. Deputies piled out, tasers drawn. Drop the knife, ma'am. She spun, cornered beast, blade trembling. You can't take me. I'm Karen Whitaker, queen of words choked. She crumpled, sobbing, knife clattering. Cuffs clicked, gentle this time, mercy for the mad. As they led her to the cruiser, she twisted for one last glare. This isn't over, Harlan. Ghosts don't die. They do sometimes. Booked on assault, violation of bail, the motel yielded evidence. Burner phones with hit lists, mine topped. Forged docs for a countersuit. Her last play, a staged confrontation to sue for hostile environment, twisting victimhood. But Cam's caught it all. Her trespass, the knife, the smash. Case airtight. Court reconvened swifter, December frost biting benches. She appeared haggard, public defender at her side, no moo-moo glamour left. Plea deal. Guilty to reduced charges, trespass, harassment, fraud, misdemeanor. Sentence, probation, restitution, my legal fees, the model's therapy, community service at a shelter. No jail, but her kingdom? reduced to a one-bedroom lease and a name tag at Dollar General. I didn't attend sentencing. Instead, planted bulbs in the field, tulips for renewal. Willow thrived. Charter passed. My name declined for Perez. You're our quiet hero, Alex. Sarah stayed the weekend, bridging gaps with talks and touches. Healing, layered like good soil. Karen's epilogue trickled in fragments. Spotted stocking shelves, head down, a blog post, apology half-baked. Lessons from loss. Boundaries matter. Skeptic scoffed, but perhaps a seed sprouted. Me? I hung the sledgehammer in the barn. Relic of rage, repurposed as reminder. Revenge's bill comes due, but so does grace, if you pay attention. Spring 2026 bloomed defiant. Cherry blossoms carpeting the estate like forgiven sins. Willow Creek shed its winter husk. Farmers markets on Saturdays, bike paths snaking fair. My 5 acres a buffer of peace amid the bustle. I'd expanded the garden, raised beds for veggies, a pergola for weddings, Sarah's idea. Our reconciliation tentative, but tender. Life, that stubborn weed, pushed through cracks. Karen's sightings faded to myth. Whispers at the co-op. She's waitressing in Albany. Calls herself K-Now. No more screeds. Her online ghosts exorcised. Accounts suspended for violations. The GoFundMe? Redirected to victims' funds. Irony's quiet nod. I followed the news loosely. Her startup liquidated. Assets auctioned. A gavel echo of her own hubris. Bitter? A sip then swallowed. But closure? Elusive as fog. One balmy May evening, as fireflies danced and Sarah grilled salmon on the patio, a knock rattled the gate. Hesitant, I approached. Cam showed a woman in khakis, clipboard clutched like a shield. Not Karen, but kin. Her sister, Elaine, mid-40s, soft around edges, eyes carrying the family steel. Mr. Harlan? May I talk? Voice quavered, but she held ground. Sarah hovered, wary. I waved her back. 5 minutes. We sat on the porch swing, creaking under unspoken weight. Tea poured, chamomile, neutral ground. She unfolded her tale slow. Karen's spiral post-arrest, isolation breeding delusion. She talks of you constant, like you're the devil or the savior, interchangeable. Family estrangement, therapy resisted. Blames everyone but the mirror. Then the ask, she's broken. Lost her apartment again. Could you drop charges? Or testify character? I sipped, steam curling like doubts. Character? The knife flashed, the model's noose. Elaine, she terrorized us. Me, the neighborhood. Why now? Tears welled. She wiped them fierce. Because I see her, the girl who fought for us Kowalskis, clawing from nothing. It's not her. Debate internal. Mercy or masochism. Sarah's hand squeezed mine later, post-departure. Your call, Alex. But chains are hers to break. Sleepless, I weighed scales, my scars versus her shards. Dawn decided. A letter to the DEA, no retraction, but a note for leniency. Enough blood from this stone. Response came circuitous. A card, postmarked Albany, script shaky but hers. Harlan, words fail, but regret doesn't. The driveway was my grave dig. You just shoveled truth. Won't darken your door again. Build well. K. No grovel but growth? A bud, perhaps. Summer solstice, full moon party at the estate. Drums thrummed, lanterns glowed, neighbors woven into tapestry. I danced with Sarah under stars, her laugh a bomb. The field, once scarred, hosted a bonfire. Effigies of grudges burned, ashes to earth. To new lines, I toasted, glass raised. Willow endures, boundaries blessed. Karen? A footnote, faded ink. Revenge taught, the sweetest victory is release. And in that letting go, I found my truest estate. Not land, but liberty. Epilogue whispers. Last I heard, she's volunteering. HOA reform consultant, ironic redemption. Me? Pruning shears in hand, eyes forward. The hammer gathers dust, but lessons gleam. In America's heartland, where fences mend as fast as they fray, one truth holds. Share wisely, or lose it all.